Pointed. It was a dominant display from the Catalan side. Just how concerned do you think should the rest of the teams left in the Champions League be about this Barcelona side?
Well, that's 23 games unbeaten now, isn't it? So, yeah, massively concerned because we were talking that, you know, they still keep the ball, they still dominate possession, but they're absolutely ruthless then when you give them space. And when we show the goals again, you'll be able to see that. And like, I can't keep speaking enough about that front three because we've even seen games in the competition where Benfica have scored against them, but because of the forward line, they'll just go, well, we'll just keep outscoring you. So they're just frightening. You'd be terrified to come up against them.
With the way they're playing, Owen, how likely do you think it is that Hansi Flick can deliver their first treble in 10 years?
Well, I think they'll believe. I think they won't want to get ahead of themselves. But Hansi Flick's been here before with Bayern. I think he won 6 trophies in one season. So, you know, he's been there and done it before, and he's got a brilliant group of players. And I think if you watch them play, you'll believe. I think everybody will believe. The only thing is, OK, they're more disciplined and they have a bit more intensity in the pressing. But because of the high line, we even saw Dortmund had some chances today. And if you think about it against a PSG or, you know, they can hurt you on the break. But I just thought Barca today, with everything about them, the midfield, the front three, they're too much for a lot of teams at the moment. And Dortmund had no chance today. Yeah,
just one goal in the first half, Karen, for them. It came from a free kick. It should have been Capasi's, but Raphinha helped it over the line a bit unnecessarily.
Well, not unnecessary if he wants to be probably the top goal scorer and he's hunting down Lionel Messi's, I think, 14 in the Champions League. But yeah, you would be if it was Capasi because you're thinking, cheers, give me my goal here. But that's what you want a poacher to be there, and the form that he's been this season, Martinez heads it across, there's Capasi's chance there. It was clearly going in, but he's thinking, nah, I'll have my 12th for the season in this competition, thanks, and just toes it in, and that set the tone then. And then Dortmund were always then, once the first one goes in, you're thinking, oh, it's only a matter of time then.
Can that sort of thing cause an issue in a dressing room?
Could do, but I mean, when you score 4 goals, no. I mean, if you would have lost the game, probably somebody would have moaned about it, that's for sure. But I just think that's the thing about this Barcelona team. I think the chemistry is really unique. Hansi Flick's done an amazing job of making them kind of play together and be you know, they're more disciplined. He set some rules in that people have to abide by. You can't be late. If you're late, you get dropped. And I think that's really important, that the boys know that the manager's in charge, but they're playing brilliant football, Linz, and everybody's better. So I think that's, you know, again, the manager does a lot of praise for setting the tempo, but also the team are performing brilliantly.
He had a nervy wait for that far check for Raphinha, though, didn't he? Just 3 minutes into the second half, Owen, though, the second goal came. This time, Raphinha a little bit more generous for Lewandowski for this one.
But, Linz, we said before the game, pick your poison. We highlighted Lewandowski, but then they got Yamal, Raphinha. Look, they all combined.
What a ball.
Amazing ball from Yamal. Great header from Raphinha. You know, these guys are just... Defensively, it's so difficult for teams. And Dortmund played 3 kind of ball-playing central midfield players, so they didn't really track back. Maka mentioned in commentary they were too open. These guys are too good. You know, you have to defend better, but you just worry about who do you stop, Karen? You know, they've got so many weapons at the top of the pitch.
That's it. And then you mentioned that, as you mentioned, the ball-playing midfielders as well. They'll keep the ball and wait for those opportunities as well. But, I mean, it is tough to stop them.
Do we have to give more credit to Hansi Flick as well for the decision to start Lopez over Gavi? He was very much involved in that third goal, Karen.
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought he had a brilliant, particularly second half as well. I think he really turned it up another gear for them. But yeah, it's obviously a big call, but we've seen Ferran Torres play as well, and Lewandowski with chopped and changed. So the manager has managed rotation quite well, but he obviously went with him tonight. And it was a great kind of, I think he came off about 70 minutes or so, something like that. But he was very influential in this third goal. And I thought his performance was top drawer all night.
And Lamine Yamal, again, also involved in this one, Owen.
Yeah, but you see there, Yamal saying, give it to me, just give it to me. Look at the weight of the pass for Fermin Lopez, absolutely brilliant. Raphinha takes the defender away, and it's just a brilliant goal. It really is. On the counter in transition, they're great. But if you look at all the goals, look at that weight of that pass from Yamal. Everything's perfect. Everything's first time. You know, people don't have to take an extra touch. And Karen mentioned it. You know, they're really good in possession, but they're really good in transition as well. When the spaces open up, they get a couple goals ahead. And those big scorelines are going to keep coming, Linz, the way they keep playing.
His 40th goal of the season, Lewandowski. They're having their own little competition, aren't they, in this competition as well with the Raphinha?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's healthy pushing each other, isn't it? And again, I go back to probably why Raphinha wanted to tap that first one in. But look, it's great for Barcelona, and you know, surprising Yamal's not in on that list, but I'm sure he's up there with assists as well this season. But their front three is phenomenal.
Barassi will be frustrated. He didn't add to his tally tonight as well because he had chances. Lamine Yamal, though, got in on the act, didn't he, with that fourth goal? But it came again from Dortmund giving the ball away.
But again, transition. You know, they're really good at it. Look again, the weight of the pass from Raphinha, perfect. Little touch and finish from Yamal. Actually, as good as they all are, for me, I think Yamal's the best. I know his numbers aren't the best, but I just think his decision making is amazing. Even this, Linz for the goal, you see it from another angle. His touch, he toe pokes that while he's running. I mean, I don't think people understand how hard that is to toe poke it, even when it's right in front of you. Never mind when you're kind of on the move, and he hits it perfect into the corner. The kid just has something super special. 17 years old.
He has to, Owen, on that toe pump, because I think Bentabini's coming so quick, so the awareness to do it. But look, there's the list there.
Yeah, another assist for Raphinha, and he's equalled Messi's goal involvements for Barca in a single Champions League season there with 19. The outright record is Ronaldo with 21 in the 2013-14 season. He could potentially beat that in the second leg of this tie, Karen.
I mean, it's 4-0 at this stage. You know, they'll easily go and nick a few over there now. So, yeah, he's very much on to try and compete with Ronaldo there.
How disappointed will Dortmund be? Maka said it in commentary that they were naive tonight. Owen, do you agree with that?
I think Nico thought he played quite an attacking team, especially in midfield. He had pace in wide areas, and I think he thought because of Barca's high line, we can maybe, you know, we can score, we'll create something. And I think in the team selection, they were quite aggressive, but I think it showed in the scoreline. You know, they didn't really have any defensive presence in midfield. But you'd have to say Gracia had a couple of chances, or he had 3, and he didn't take them. And you look at, you know, Barca, 18 total shots. You know, Dortmund had 13. But they, you know, they just didn't take them when they come. But I do think they were far too strong. This is a Dortmund side that's probably one of the weakest I've seen in a long time. They're 8th in the Bundesliga. There's a reason for that. You know, they've already gone through one manager, Nuri Sahin. If they would have got through this, it would have a huge bonus. But I think it was a big ask for them.
They've only got to play Bayern before the second leg as well at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is this Barcelona team, they'll go to Dortmund, which is one of the best places in Europe to play, and they'll want to do this again. And I think the way that they attack and the numbers that they have, they could do it anywhere.
You don't think there's any way they take the foot off the gas, Barca? Will they want to make a statement in that second leg?
I purely think from the stats that have been showing up about records, there'll be players like Raphinha, Lewandowski will be thinking, no, I want to keep going, and the manager would demand that as well. So I don't think they'll take the foot off the gas. You know, maybe there might be a couple of people rotating in because they're obviously fighting on more fronts than just the Champions League. But no, they're like a train, and I don't think they'll stop.